This is my friend, Dr. Tan Sok Hui, and her team who came up with 2 DIY face shield designs for volunteers who want to make them for healthcare workers. They are very easy to make, but please make sure you maintain good hygiene while making these face shields. It is important to protect the health of our healthcare professionals. They are literally our last line of defense. Over to you, Sok Hui.
Before you start doing it at home, volunteers should wash her hair and have a good shower, dry yourself up and immediately put on a face mask and change into a clean clothes. This is to ensure that you are clean when you do the facial. However, if you do not have the opportunity to have your hair washed, then you have to wear the cap like this. Before you start doing it, make sure you disinfect your hand with hand sanitizer or have a good wash with soap. For site preparation, make sure you disinfect the surface before you use it. You can use the professional disinfectant or at least a 2% Clorox and wipe dry. Or if you have alcohol, 65% ethanol or 70% alcohol, you can wipe with alcohol and let it dry. Then the place is ready for you to start working on it. And if you have a protective sheet like this, you can actually cover it with protective sheet, head at the side, and then you can start working on the protective sheet. This video is to show you step by step how to do the disposable face shield, the sponge-based disposable face shield. Okay, so the items that we need, 3 main items that we need will be the A4 plastic sheet. Okay, this is the A4 plastic sheet. Alright, sponge, about 25 cm times 3 cm times 3 cm. Or if you don't have that size, you can go for 20 cm times 3, and most of the sponge have 2.5 cm in thickness. Alright, and then you need a strap. This is the main item for a face shield. Of course, other than that, we also need other stationeries like scissors, puncher, and Yoo-hoo gum. Okay, the first thing in mind is remember the sharp edges. You do not want to injure yourself or injure the person who wears it. So the first thing you do is round off the sharp edges. You can cut it off a bit for the top. Okay, the top just slightly rounded off will do. Okay, and then here slightly more for the bottom, make it a curve. Alright, the sponge have to be placed right in the middle and reach the top here. Okay, so you have to put the Yoo-hoo gum. Pause this here. Alright. Okay, and bring it over. And then right in the center. Okay. Pause it. Okay, after the Yoo-hoo dries up, okay, you do the punch. Alright, okay, this is the edge, right? Bring the edge right to the middle here, okay, and then push all the way in the puncher. Push all the way in. Alright, and then there you go, punch. And the same thing on the other side. Again, right at the center as a guideline, push all the way in and punch. And now you have 2 holes at the side here. Okay, alright, the next thing you do is get the rubber band. This is a rubber band that the postman used. Okay, the length of the rubber band is about this. Okay, from here to here is about 17 to 18 cm. So that is the length of the rubber band. So what you need to do is cut it into half. Alright, and then tie double knot. Why we tie double knot? So that the knot is big enough, bigger than the hole that we punch, so that the knot will not slip through. Okay. Can you see? Okay, so we get the bigger knot. Okay, and now turn over, leave the knot outside, pull the edge, the other edge, end of the band over. Alright, and come in this way. Alright, now you have this. Turn over and tie another double knot. Next one is another type of sponge based face shield, the sponge based disposable face shield. And for those who do not have the rubber band, you can use this type of elastic. Okay, the elastic can come in a big roll, so you have to cut it. Alright, so these are the main items that you will need. Alright, you will need the A4 plastic sheet, the rigid sheet, this one, and you will need sponge. At least you take a sponge of 25 cm length, and then 3 times 3. Okay, if you don't have this size, because most of the sponge comes in 2.5 cm thickness, then you can have 2.5 times 3, and if you cannot have 20 cm, cannot have 25 cm, at least 20 cm. This is a 20 cm one. Alright, and then for the straps, okay, the straps will be about 35 cm. Oh yeah, I forgot to write. Okay, the strap is 35 cm. Okay, first thing that you have to note is all these sharp edges have to be rounded off, because you do not want to get yourself injured when you're preparing it, and also you do not want the person who wears it might accidentally injure himself or the patient. Okay, now you have all the edges been rounded off. The next thing is you want to glue the sponge to the plastic sheets. You can use a Yoo-hoo glue, or rubber glue, or double-sided tape. Okay, so for Yoo-hoo glue, you just apply enough, not too much, just enough to do. Pause. Okay, turn it over. Alright, and make sure you place it right in the middle. Okay, if you are not so good with that, you can actually put a ruler, just as a guide, so that you actually put it right in the middle. Okay, and let the Yoo-hoo dry before you do the next step. Alright, once the glue is dry, you're going to attach the strap to the face shield. Alright, so you put it this way. Okay, make sure that the level is below the sponge. The strap have to strap below the sponge. Okay, not this way, but below. You can use the stapler to staple it. Side here. Okay, now it's secure. And then bring it across over here. Curve it in. And staple it. If it's broad, you can go 3 times. Okay. Okay, now you are done. Okay, and for the sharp edges here, make sure you press it down properly. Okay. Same thing here. Press it down properly. And if you have tape, you can actually even tape it as well. If you have the masking tape or any tape, you can tape it up so that you won't injure yourself, or the person who wears it don't get injured. Okay, now we have another type, sponge-based face shield using the elastic. But between the two types, this and this, personally I find that this rubber band is easier to wear, easier to remove, and easier to get, and it's cheaper as well. Okay.
And here is the final product. Cheap, comfortable, and hygienic face shields. For your convenience, they also prepared a pictorial guide. On top of making sure that you are clean and have a clean workplace, please maintain social distancing. Number 1. Round off the sharp edges of the plastic sheet. Number 2. You can print messages of encouragement and stick them on one side of the sponge. Number 3. Apply glue to the message and the sponge. Number 4. Place it on the plastic sheet at the top. Number 5. punch a hole on each side with a paper puncher. Number 6. Insert the rubber band and knot off both ends. That's it. You have now created your own DIY face shield. One final step before you pack them. Please inspect your face shields to make sure that they are clear and not smeared with glue. And finally, please clean them with Surgical Spirit to make sure that they are safe for healthcare professionals to use. But if you're looking to make a ton of these face shields, Dr. Tan shared some production improvements her team made after some practice. Here is her advice on how to make it even easier and faster to produce these face shields in quantities.
The first station will be cutting the encouraging messages. And we have a little bit of changes in our sequence to make the work faster. First, we use the A4 sheets, a few pieces together, and punch it. Then we flip over and make another punch, so we can punch several sheets at the same time. Next station will be cutting all the sharp edges. We rounded off the sharp edges. Okay. And then the next station is we stick all the messages to the sponge. Okay. Another station, someone will be cutting the elastic band. And then after cutting, he will actually tie the knot at one side. The other station will have someone to apply the glue and then stick on the plastic sheets. And then next station will have someone to string the elastic, and the end product will be packed into boxes.
Before you get started on your face shield project, Dr. Tan would like to remind you to please use clear plastic sheets. She also highly recommends using a rounded corner punch, which is available from craft shops. It lets you cut perfectly round corners and is much easier to use than scissors. You should also clean the completed face shields with Surgical Spirit, which can be purchased from pharmacies. This will ensure that the face shields you made are safe for our healthcare professionals to use. Finally, thank you for making a difference in the fight against COVID-19.